intro on Arif. All of you, of course, in the community know him. And I was supposed to give this intro when I also introduce him as a panelist, but I can't resist. Arif has been an exemplary model when it comes to service of our community via the many roles he has served, and including at his time becoming the youngest president of our Jamaat when we were in Woodside. He's now, of course, serving the broader North American community as president of NASIMCO. His great-grandfather migrated from Kachkera to Bagamoyo, where he was one of the pioneers behind the building of our mosque, and I was there pre-COVID, and it is a beautiful mosque. His grandfather was born in Dar es Salaam, and then he moved to Zanzibar later in life. And this is where Arif's father, SIJNY uncle, was born. Due to the revolution in Zanzibar, the family moved back to Dar es Salaam, where Arif was born. The family moved briefly to Canada in 1976, only to return to Dar a couple of years later to support the family business. Arif came to the US in the late 80s for higher education, and he's remained here ever since, and we are surely very blessed for it. May I ask you all to give him a loud salawat as he makes his way here. Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Thank you so much, Aziz, for that warm welcome and intro, Hassan. Dear respected alims, elders, brothers and sisters in Iman, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you today on this special occasion of Khoja Heritage 2022. My name is Arif Jacksi, and I'm the president of the North American Shia Ithnashi Muslim Communities Organization, also known as NASIMCO. I'm a proud son, husband, father, Shia, and Khoja. I was born in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, in East Africa, English and Swahili being my proficient languages. I'm also conversant in Urdu, Kutchi, and can read and write Hindi and Gujarati, albeit not as swiftly as I did during my middle school years in India with Firdaus Bhai. Raised mostly in Tanzania, I began in the education system of the Khoja community in Dar es Salaam from kindergarten and primary school, with Nargis Bhai Megji being my teacher at that time, who also still an active member of our community here at SIJNY. May Allah bless her with a long and healthy life, Ilahi Ameen. Later on, I traveled with my parents to Toronto, Canada, and in pursuit of the best education, was later sent to Arusha, Tanzania, then Bombay, India, and then Moshi, Tanzania, before moving here to United States for college. I must say that everywhere I traveled to and attended school, and not having my parents with me, most of the time, the Khoja community was my safe haven. This community is very unique in that we are all one large family, providing empathy and support to one another. We have come a long way in our journeys, and yet we find the means to always connect and organize a community for the betterment and support of our membership and our future generations. I want to take the opportunity to thank the leaders of this initiative from the World Federation of Khoja Shia Ithnashi Community and the Awakening Project of KSI Muslim Communities and SIJNY management for embarking on this vital project and highlighting the important histories of our people. As you can already tell, this journey means a lot to me personally. The Awakening Project advocates the awareness of religion and the Khoja identity through madrasa, mimbar, and the family unit, all values that we share and uplift at NASIMCO. Our history is one of great pioneers, visionaries, advocates, and revolutionary thinkers and actors. Our communities migrated facing perilous journeys, uncertainty and struggles, first across the Indian Ocean to East Africa in the 19th century, and then again across the Pacific and Atlantic to Europe, Australia, North America, and beyond. At NASIMCO, we aim to unify communities across the continent and keep the legacies of our ancestors alive through capacity building, best practice sharing, unity, and community building. We are bearers of a great responsibility in working to preserve the Shia heritage in a foreign land to whom many of us now call our forever home. Our goal is to preserve language, culture, religious identity, and customs while crafting a new identity as Americans and Canadians as well. We are tasked with a great responsibility, one not dissimilar to the ones that our own ancestors faced in India and then again in East Africa. The purpose of today is in celebration, but also one of deep reflection of our accomplishments and struggles, our resilience, and our collective purpose. This global event brings together pillars of our community, both older and younger, to tell the stories of our 1,000-year history, celebrating the rich legacy of our beautiful Khoja heritage. One of the biggest blessings of our people is in enlightenment, perseverance, and struggles of our ancestors in reverting to the path of the Ahl Bayt alayhi salam, in our renewed sense of preservation of identity and collective unity with other Khojas locally and globally. I was deeply moved by Dr. Siptain Panjwani's new book, The Khoja Shia Isnashiris of East Africa, Their Quest for a New Socio-Religious Identity, which highlights 100 years of Khoja heritage in East Africa and beyond. The book highlights the importance of preservation of history, lest it be forgotten in times to come. The book urges us to learn from the lessons of our ancestors in adopting to challenging new environments while maintaining a spirit of cooperation and mutual respect for indigenous communities. It's this lesson that I want us to take away today, that in preservation of history, in remembrance of times past, we learn from and embrace the lessons of our ancestors in coming to a new country, in ingratiating with the indigenous community, and paving a unified, prosperous way forward through sustainable growth of our Jamaats, including social, welfare, educational institutions, infrastructure, and business. I wanted to share the following passage with you today. This is not merely a question of history, but a question of the basis of one's identity, morals, and way of life. A community that does not have an interest in its own language and literature will ultimately lose sight of its future. As a result, such a community will remain nomadic, hanging on the language and culture of others. For those interested in finding more about this book, it is available on NASIMCO's website as well as through NASIMCO offices. I encourage our youth here today to learn your family's deep-rooted heritage, to preserve our languages, to continue our cultural practices, and keep the spirit of Khoja heritage alive in your day-to-day lives. You are the future of this great community. On this auspicious occasion, I also urge our elders to remain our steadfast leaders, to hold presence in our communities and guide us to pave our path forward and envision another 1,000 years of Khoja heritage. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us with tawfiqat to continue on our collective and individual missions to better the world for our people and for all people, to work towards solidarity and cohesion, unity, peace, and prosperity for all Khojas and Shias around the world. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.